The big question in this section is how water can move in the plants up to a couple of meters high from the ground, from the root system. So first we have to point out that the water moves from high water potential to low water potential. This is from the previous knowledge. So the plant has the root, and the water moves in the stem through the xylem into the leaves, where it is used as the electron donor for the excited electron that is going to be passed on the electrotransport chain from the chlorophyll. So the cross section of the leaf, here we have the upper epidermis that secretes a waxy material, the cuticle, that plays a big role against dehydration. Here are the long cells next to each other containing a chloroplast with chlorophyll, the palisade layer. This is where the photosynthesis takes place. Here is the spongy mesophyll, where it's airy. The space is airy, cells are not squished together. And between the spongy mesophyll, there are vessels, the xylems. The phloems are also over there for the sugar, but we are focusing on the water transport at this point. So these are the water molecules. They are coming from the roots through the xylem into the leaves, and the lower epidermis is over there, and those two are the bean-shaped guard cells that they are guarding the opening, the stoma, that is for gas exchange, water vapor, carbon dioxide, and oxygen exchange. So around the mesophyll cells, the spongy mesophyll cells, are the apoplasts. The apoplasts are made out of cellulose, so it's kind of the cell wall, and it binds the water and takes the water out from the xylem. It's going to just swollen up the apoplast, and in the apoplast also evaporation takes place, and the water vapor concentration inside of the mesophyll layer is bigger than the water vapor concentration outside of the leaf, so in the atmosphere. So that is the driving force, the concentration difference that makes the water vapor diffuse from the mesophyll area into the air. And the water diffusion is actually the transpiration. So how the water vapor leaves from higher concentration to lower concentration. Now the water is attached to each other through hydrogen bonds, and if one water is going to be picked up by the apoplast, it's going to pull more through pulling tension force from the xylem. How the xylem brings up the water, also facilitates the water motion against the gravity, is by cohesion and adhesion. Cohesion is to the same, adhesion is the different materials, water to the xylem, and cohesion is water to water. From the in the water, in the roots, the water moves from. In the roots, the water potential is less than in the soil, so osmosis and the help of the aquaporin through facilitated diffusion, water moves into the root from the soil. So, and from the root to the xylem is osmosis and tension force. So that is how the water moves. The second one is about the stoma. The stoma lets carbon dioxide, water vapor, and oxygen to pass between the spongy mesophyll and the atmosphere, the outside air. Its job is to focus on the carbon dioxide and the water vapor. At the daytime, what happens? So it's a sequencing out. Light is going to shine on the leaf, and there's a special protein, special substance that gets activated because of the light. And this light, this substance is going to activate the proton pump in the guard cells. The proton pump pushes the hydrogen ions out from the guard cells into the cytoplasm. No, it's outside of the cell, sorry, with the use of ATP, and it happens in the guard cells, interstitial space. The proton pump pushing out the hydrogen ion, but let also get potassium and chloride ion get into the guard cells. And these ions also invite the water to get inside of the guard cells. So the water potential inside of the guard cells will decrease. So the water will go inside, and the turgor pressure in the guard cells will increase, and the guard cells will swollen up like two sausages, and in the middle there will be the hole called stoma. So what else affects the stoma opening? The light, as we said, but low carbon dioxide content inside of the spongy mesophyll will increase to open the stoma. And the circadian rhythm also influences the opening or closing of the stoma. What happens at dehydration? Here is a hormone produced by the roots and as well as in the leaves that if the mesophyll dehydrates, that hormone is going to be produced and prevents the proton pump to get activated. At nighttime, the stoma closes because there's no light that activates a specific substance that makes the proton pump work, so no pumping anymore. Diffusion, by the diffusion, everything, the potassium goes out, chlorine goes out, and the hydrogen ions get inside of the cell. Evolution. How can we explain extinction? Sometimes we can go back and talk about how things happen in the past. So transpiration is not only controlling the water content and the carbon dioxide content, but it also acts as evaporative cooling agent, protects the plants to get overheated, protects the proteins, the enzymes in the leaves. So when the carbon dioxide concentration increases, there are some plants, and many plants with low number of stomata can survive. So this is a natural selection that they will survive with low number of stomata too. When the concentration of the carbon dioxide is low, only plants with high number of stomata will be able to survive. So it's another selective pressure for the plants. Now, focusing on high carbon dioxide concentration, the low number of stomata conserves more water, and that's good for the plant. But that means it's less evaporative cooling, so overheating can really a factor for the plant. And if it gets over, well, okay, before that, the carbon dioxide acts as a blanket, so the temperature inside of the atmosphere, in the atmosphere, increases. So overheating will happen, and the enzymes will lose their three-dimensional shape, so kind of causing a ripple effect in ecology, and the plants will die, the omnivores will die, the carnivores will die, so extinction will happen. This is one of the explanations that happened at the end of the Triassic period, the Great Extinction.